Welcome back to Chemistry Laboratory, Kabridahar University, Somali region, Ethiopia. Now we'll discuss about the preparation of sodium soap. Very simple procedure and very interesting experiment also. So the procedure it says that the aim is to prepare the sodium soap and to check its properties. That is the aim. Coming to the apparatus. Apparatus means we need 150 ml beaker, 400 ml beaker, and we need to have the magnetic stirrer, hot plate, ice bath, and pH meter are the apparatus required. And coming to the chemicals, we need to have the solid fat is needed, ethanol is needed, 20% of sodium hydroxide is needed, and distilled water is needed, commercial soap is needed, detergent is needed, and also oil or grease can be used as chemicals. Now coming to the procedure. Procedure is very simple. Of course, it is given very clearly, systematically, but we can understand simply. Take 150 ml of beaker and weigh it separately. Note down the weight of the beaker. Now weigh separately 5 grams of fat and add into the beaker. Then into the beaker containing the fat, now add 15 ml of ethanol and 15 ml of 20% of sodium hydroxide to be added into the beaker. Now the beaker contains 5 grams of fat, 15 ml of 20% sodium hydroxide and 15 ml of ethanol is there. Now keep the beaker on the hot plate for 30 minutes. When the chemicals are getting boiled for 30 minutes, you can see single layered solution is formed. After getting completely boiled for 30 minutes, you can see the solution becomes viscous or tacky. Then we need to take the concentrated, then the solution becomes tacky. After getting the tacky, we need to tacky solution. After getting the viscous solution, we need to add the saturated sodium chloride solution. So the beaker to be transformed into the another beaker containing saturated sodium chloride solution. Then after that you see that white colored foam like soap is formed. Then during its formation, you need to take the ice bath containing the ice cubes in a separate container, a separate beaker, and keep this beaker which is already boiled in the ice cubes so that the temperature will be affecting that mixture. So slowly you can see that the soap is formed and it can be hardened or dried for one day. You can get the sodium soap. This is very simple procedure. Now let us see now let us see the experimentally how we can prepare the sodium soap. Yes, now let us perform the experiment visually, practically. This is the weighing balance, analytical balance. So I have to weigh the beaker exactly, the beaker weight. So I am measuring the weight of the beaker. Yeah, it is 0. Now I kept beaker, I am recording the weight. That is 47.013. 47.013 is the weight of the beaker. Right. So I am making it 0. Now I will take the fat. 5 grams of fat is to be taken. This is the fat. So I have to measure the weight. It should be 5 grams. Yes, it is exactly 5 grams weight. I used to add the chemicals, that is potassium hydroxide 20%, 15 ml and ethanol 15 ml. So this is already ethanol is taken into this beaker. So I will add this 15 ml by means of measuring cylinder. Right, this is the exact 5 grams weight of the fat, the beaker. Now I am taking 15 ml of ethanol by means of this measuring cylinder. Yes, 15 ml I am adding here. Okay. Now I will take 15 ml of 20 percentage of sodium hydroxide. This is sodium hydroxide. So I can of course use the same thing because both are going to get mixed. 15 ml of 20% sodium hydroxide. Yeah. Yes. Now you can see this is the beaker of known weight 47.013 grams weight, and 5 grams of fat is there, and 15 ml of ethanol is there, and 15 ml of 20% sodium hydroxide is there. Now we will keep this on the hot plate for 30 minutes to get the saponification to be done. Yes, now you can observe the heating process by means of hot plate. The conical flask, for convenience, I have used this conical flask containing the fat 5 grams and 15 ml of ethanol and 15 ml of 20% of potassium hydroxide. Now it is subjected to heat for 30 minutes for the fat to completely dissolve and to become the clear solution as a single phase liquid. It converts into single phase liquid and becomes a viscous liquid called as the sodium soap. So let us see, let us wait for the 30 minutes, then we can go for the remaining process.
Yes, after this completion of boiling for 30 minutes, we need to add a saturated sodium chloride solution into this conical flask, which completes the processing of the sodium soap. Then we will get the crystals by inserting the beaker onto the icebergs.
After the boiling process is completed for 30 minutes, the sodium soap is completely boiled and saponification is completed. Now it is before kept into the ice bath, it is subjected to add 50 ml of saturated sodium chloride solution. Then it forms into the soap. Then it is kept inside the ice bath for 1 hour. Then we will get the crystals of soap. This is the ice bath where the soap after boiling is kept inside. Now after keeping for 1 hour in the ice bath, now the sodium soap is formed into the crystals. It is become like a solid, and it is, you can see the soap here, sodium soap. Now it is good structure of soap has been formed. This is the solid form of the soap, sodium soap. Now we can keep for 1 day for drying, then we can get the bar soap. This is the sodium soap. Now coming to the procedure, that is aim is to prepare sodium soap and to check its properties. Coming to the apparatus, 150 ml beaker, 400 ml beaker, magnetic stirrer, hot plate, ice bath, pH meter. And coming to the chemicals, fat is required, ethanol, 20% sodium hydroxide, distilled water, commercial soap, detergent, and oil or grease is needed. Now coming to the procedure. We have seen the procedure already. We have to take 150 ml beaker, which is already recorded, weight should be recorded, and we need to add 5 grams of fat or oil is added. Then 15 ml of ethanol plus 15 ml of 20% sodium hydroxide is added to the beaker, and it is kept on the heat on the hot plate with magnetic stirrer. Then heat for 30 minutes until it forms a single layer solution. Then add 5 ml of mixture when the volume is getting decreased. And next, after the saponification is completed, remove the beaker and add 50 ml of saturated sodium chloride solution. This is the procedure. So we already prepared the sodium soap, and now this is the procedure we have discussed now as per the systematic procedure. And now after this it forms into the soap. So this is the process called as salting out, where addition of sodium chloride to the beaker is called as salting out. Now place the beaker on the ice bath. After completing all the procedures, if we keep the beaker containing the contents after heating on an ice bath, then the soap is collected as a curds by means of vacuum filtration, and after that allow it to dry for some time. Then that is called as the sodium soap. This is the procedure. Coming to the properties now, we have seen the properties. That is, the results is like this. pH test for the sodium soap is pH is 10.73 and detergent is pH 10.70 observed. And the foam test, simply take the sodium soap in a test tube 5 ml and then add, just simply shake it. We observed that less number of suds are formed. And the detergent is also taken. 1 gram of detergent in 50 ml is taken, and as 5 ml, and by means of shaking in the test tube, more suds are formed. This is observation for the foam test. Coming to the next one is interaction with the oil test. Simply sodium soap is taken 5 ml and 5 drops of coconut oil is added, and it observes that it is completely dissolved. And when we take the detergent plus 5 drops of oil, we have seen that more bubbles are formed. This is observation. And next one is calcium chloride test, that is hard water test. Simply we have taken the sodium soap 5 ml and 20 drops of 1% calcium chloride is added, and we have seen the precipitation is formed. And detergent is taken and 20 drops of 1% calcium chloride solution is added. And we have seen that white soapy bubbles are formed. So from this we can understand that sodium soap cannot dissolve calcium ions present in water, but whereas detergent can able to dissolve both calcium and magnesium ions also. So it forms a bubbles, an expression that it can remove the dirt from hard water also. This is about the procedure and also the properties of the sodium soap preparation. Thank you. Yes, now let us prepare the detergent solution of taking 0.5 gram in 50 ml of water, and we can use it for the testing the properties of detergent and also the sodium soap. So now we can take the properties, we can check the properties by preparing the detergent. So this is the beaker to prepare 50 ml of detergent. I can add 0.5 gram of detergent, 50 ml. Yeah, this is 0.5 gram. So now I can add the distilled water. This is sodium soap. This is the sodium soap, newly prepared, freshly prepared, and this is the detergent. Now we have the test tubes are there for test tube reactions. We will perform the properties of this sodium soap with the detergents, right? First of all, we'll see the foam test, right? Simply I will take the few drops of this sodium soap into the test tube. I have taken. I will just make it shake to see the foam formation. It's not formed any foam, simply it was as it is. Not observed, foams not observed. It forms a less number of suds. Suds are less, right? And if you see the detergent, foam test for detergent, while I shaking this one, while shaking, it forms more bubbles are formed, more suds are formed. See, more suds are formed for the sake of detergents. Right. Foam test is over. For sodium, less number of suds are formed. In the case of detergent, more number of suds are formed. That is a foam test. And coming to the oil test. Oil test. Simply, I can add this sodium soap around 5 ml, something like that, and I will add the oil, 5 drops of oil, coconut oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add it. Let us see. Sodium soap with coconut oil. What is observation? It forms the bubbles are formed here. It forms the bubbles. Bubbles are formed. Right? Now for the sake of detergent, this is around 5 ml detergent, and again 5 drops of oil is added for detergent. You can see. You can see that detergent dissolves the oil. It simply dissolves the oil. See? And more suds are formed. More bubbles are formed with detergent and oil. So this is about the oil test. Now coming to the calcium chloride test. Calcium magnesium ions are present in hot water. Now we'll see the calcium chloride with sodium soap and calcium chloride with detergent. We'll observe the how far it is having the resemblance and similarities. These are the two test tubes. I am taking the detergent around 5 ml and 2 ml of this calcium chloride, 1% calcium chloride. So detergent plus calcium chloride, it forms the white color solution. White soapy solution is formed. It forms the soapy bubbles are formed here with calcium chloride and detergent. Right? Yeah. And we can see another, this is the sodium soap around 5 ml and this calcium chloride 1 ml. See, calcium chloride and sodium soap, it forms the precipitate. It forms the precipitate. Because sodium soap cannot dissolve the calcium magnesium ions present in hot water. That's why it forms the precipitate. This is about the precipitation tests regarding the sodium soap and the detergent in different combinations. Thank you.